airplanes you bought before your first prison time, I mean, those did you still have them, or did you have to buy new airplanes?
No, I never, the only airplanes I owned were the jets, my private jets.
Ah.
I never had any airplane for smuggling because I always subbed that out. I always someone that specialized in that, right?
Oh, because I saw a picture of you like this 1980s style airplane or a private jet while you're sitting with the sunglasses on or something.
That's my Hawker with my gold Cartier custom-made glasses.
I didn't know that. Yeah, because I was like, oh, the guy was smuggling in these planes. Yeah, pretty nice. But now I get it. It was just for transportation, and
no, that was my Hawker. I love that plane. Yeah, no, I had a Hawker, I had a Merlin, and I had a Jet Ranger helicopter.
Wow. And what happened with Eddie there, your bodyguard?
With Eddie was a whole different story.
Yeah.
What happened with Eddie was that was when I was supposed to go to California, and that was a group of guys that actually worked for me.
Yeah.
And I was supposed to go to California and what I would do is I would always have breakfast in the jet, right? So they knew exactly what to have for me, the pilot. And when I went to step on the jet, I started to throw up and had diarrhea. And I was like, man, I've been feeling great all day. So I went into the hangar and I stayed about 30 minutes. When I thought I was feeling good again, I went in there and I went to put a foot on the plane again. The same thing happened.
Yeah.
And I told Eddie, I said, Eddie, you go for me and tell him I'll go next week. I can't go. I'm going to throw up all over this freaking plane. Yeah. It was coming out of both sides like horrible. Yeah. And he got killed. They were waiting for me. There was a contract on my life. Wow. And instead of me, they got him. And that was a sad point because he was a guy that I really loved dearly. And that began to change. Well, my change was already happening because my mother was very religious, right? So my mother was brilliant. I tell people my mother is the perfect example of tough love.
Yeah.
She cut me no slack. She like, let me know, son, whatever you're doing doesn't please God. Son, whatever you're doing doesn't please God. This is not what I worked on my life to give you an education. And I can't believe you're doing this to us. And then she would stop and then she would say, what do you want for dinner tonight?
But she wanted to get that out to you all the time. I could understand it.
And I always knew what true north was. See, that's the biggest thing I tell parents. You got to teach your children what true north is. Because if they deviate, they're gonna know where to come back to. So that was really like dawning on me, you know? And so then I was already feeling like I wanted out. I mean, I had more money than I could ever spend the rest of my life.
Yeah.
After that, so I had this friend of mine that used to come to my ranch to breed his horses his mares to my horse, and he had walked away from the marijuana business. And I liked him a lot. His name was Lazaro. I said, Lazaro, how'd you get out? And he's like being pregnant. You're either pregnant or you're not.
Yeah.
So if you get out, you gotta get out. You gotta move away.
Cut everything off.
People, you gotta cut with everybody you know. And to me, that was hard because so many people depended upon me. You know. But in the back of my mind, I already had it that, well, a lot of people depend on me. But when I went to prison, every freaking body abandoned me. You know?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you said the only two friends you have in prison, it's your mom and dad, basically, your parents.
And my brother.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And by the speaking of Eddie, there was it ever solved who killed Eddie?
It was a guy that was very close to someone that I had delivering cocaine for me in California.
Was he caught? I mean, is he locked up now, the murderer? Or?
You know, here's one thing that I thank God. We found him, okay? Yeah. Within 2 days, he was in New York. We found him.
Wow.
And I wanted to go and kill him myself.
Good you didn't.
And what happened, and I thank God I didn't because I did not. Something came up, and I couldn't go the day I was going to go, right after they found him. Yeah. So for 3 days, I couldn't go. And he ended up working out a deal with the people that had him and paid them off. And got away.
Wow.
And I thank God because, you know, I'm not a murderer. I never murder anyone, never order anyone's death. And
exactly.
I've never been able to live with that, but it was really painful. And the most painful was at the funeral. That's when I believe that God began to really just knock me down because his little daughter, I had just baptized her 6 months earlier. And she was a little older than my daughter, but not much. And she's like, Godfather, my daddy went to be with Jesus.
Yeah.
And I'm going to tell you, Gustav, it was the first time that I shed a tear since the day I left Cuba as a 10-year-old. Never again. People used to say that ice ran through my veins. I wouldn't cry for nothing. And I said to myself, number one, if there is a Jesus, we ain't going there.
Exactly.
The painful part was, when will my daughter tell that to someone and she'll never see me again?
Yeah.
And that just began to eat me alive.
Yeah.
And within 3 months of that, I walked away.
Oh, it was 3 months after the murder of Eddie. Wow.
Yeah, it was. I got away, and I mean, I walked away, and I'm like, look, they asked me, and I thought I'd be killed because, you know, there's not a good retirement program in the cartel, right?
No.
And they don't like the unknown. That's what they can't deal with, is the unknown. So they're like, why would George walk away?
Yeah.
He doesn't do nothing. He has zero.
And I kind of read the thing that saved your life leaving the cartel is that between the 70s and up to you leaving, you never lied to the cartel or anyone else. Kind of, you were very honest. And you got this confirmed by somebody in the cartel.
Right. And I told my guys, listen, no one dies for telling the truth. No matter what mistake you make, we can pay back money, we can buy kilos again, we can make $1 million or whatever, but don't freaking lie.
Yeah.
If you don't lie, you're gonna be safe. You're gonna be all right. And it was an opportunity where Pablo asked me to join with him to lie about something, you know, where he wanted to offer insurance.
Yeah, that insurance, exactly. Yeah,
and he had that whole scheme where literally it was going to be a victimless crime, right? Because no one was going to get hurt.
Yeah.
Basically, he was gonna. So if you gave him 10 kilos and you paid $3,000 extra insurance, and all of a sudden the drugs didn't get to your buyer or to your client, then because it got confiscated or thrown in the ocean or whatever, you'd get your drugs back, right? So, but what ended up happening is, and you won't have to pay the freight on them. Yeah. So literally, all you would do is lose time, right?
Yeah.
So you give it to me in April, and I'm like, hey, Gustav, look, the deal got confiscated, but you paid insurance. You bought insurance, so here's the deal. Because then you have to pay the insurance till it got to Miami.
Yeah.
So the got to Miami. So all they did is get their drugs back. But I looked at him and I'm like, I'm not going to participate in that. And he's like, well, why not? I said, because it's a lie.
Yeah.
And if I say that now, when would someone tell you that I lied about you? And you're not going to believe me. I said, do whatever you want. I said, no one knows. No one's going to come and ask me. Make all the millions you want. Sell all the insurance you want to sell. But you know, I'm not dealing with that. And later on, when he put a contract on my life, because someone told him that I had used one of his airstrips in Mexico without his permission, the guy that came to kill me happened to be a guy that I helped a lot when his boss got murdered. As a matter of fact, I got him the job with Pablo, who killed his boss.
Wow. And who was that boss?
Actually, at that time, probably was the richest of them all. It was a guy named Frank Jimenez. Yeah. And he was stupid because at a party, he made a comment that, Pablo's got all the fame, but I got all the money. And it was true. He was probably 3 times as rich as Pablo. Yeah. But that was enough for Pablo to hit him.
Wow.
He had no respect for no human life, nothing. You know?
Speaking about respect, I saw a quote. The more money you have, the more respect and consideration you get. But if people identify you with your money, what will happen when you don't have it anymore? Exactly. So that's kind of what you also figured out after you gave away all your money, or gave back all the money.
People, listen, there is positional authority and moral authority, right? Yeah. Moral authority is the same as respect. You earn it. Positional authority is equal to fear. So if you fear me, I got power over you. Yeah. Right? Yeah. And that's what happened with Pablo. A lot of people feared him until one day someone doesn't fear you anymore. Yeah. But respect you earn. All right. And that's moral authority. People will follow you to death if they believe in you. If they know that you are, transparent, that that your word is gold, that you will never do what you say you're never going to do, and that you will always do what you say you're going to do. Yeah. And then you earn that respect, right? And when you earn that respect, or you're a moral authority, then people will follow you to death. Well,
Yeah.
Pablo did not have that. Pablo, all he had was, positional authority, right?
Yeah.
Powerful, and everyone knew that even though he wasn't the richest or the most powerful, he was the most violent.
Yeah.
Bar none. I mean, he had no. If he killed you, he killed every male related to you.
Yeah, plom or plata, or what was the lead or